She literally, the minute I pressed record, she came to sit on my lap, which you cannot see. Oh, but you can see her little tail. Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm starting yet another reading vlog and I'm very excited about this one because I do have quite the selection of books that I'm hoping to read this week. I have one book that I'm still in the middle of and two books, maybe, well actually I guess I kind of have two books that I'm in the middle of and two that I'm going to be reading hopefully completely. We'll see if this actually pans out. I don't know, but we are going to see. So let me quickly jump into the couple of books that I'm going to be reading in this video and then we will get on into it. So first of all, the couple of books that I am in the middle of, I'm definitely planning on finishing up Royal Assassin. I was reading this one in my last video and I would like to finish it in this one. I'm currently on page 431, so I think I maybe have a little bit over 200 pages left, but I'm really interested to see how this book is going to end off. It's been a very slow-paced book up until this point, but I'm thinking, you know, something of interest is probably going to happen towards the end. I don't know, but we're gonna find out. I'm probably going to be listening to the rest of this on audio. I've been listening to the audiobooks for the couple of books in the Farseer trilogy so far, and I'm really enjoying it that way. So, I'm gonna finish up Royal Assassin, hopefully. And then the other book that I'm in the middle of that I'm really hoping I can finish is Paladin Strength by T. Kingfisher. I mentioned this in my February TBR as a book that I started last year that I would really like to finally complete. I soft DNF'd it last year because I was just a bit bored by what was going on, but I would really like to continue the Saint of Steel series, so I'm hoping I can listen to the audiobook for the rest of this one as well. I think I am gonna pick up at the 50% mark. I was a little bit back and forth on whether or not I should restart the book, but like if I restart the book, I probably will get bored by the 50% mark again, and I re-borrowed the audiobook from Libby and it's like stopped where I stopped last year, so I'm just gonna keep going from there. I feel like I remember enough. I feel like I'll be fine. So I have a couple of audiobooks obviously, and then I have two books which I have not started yet that I'm hoping to read physically. I think if anything is going to be booted off the TBR, it's either going to be Paladin Strength or Royal Assassin because I'm really excited about the other two books that I would like to read. So the first one that I'm hoping I can read this week is Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. This is my February Patreon book club book. I'm still undecided about whether or not I'm gonna watch the movie after I finish this. I have not heard great things about it in terms of it like being an adaptation, and that's kind of the only reason that I would want to watch it. So I don't know, and I know it's supposed to, like, it's Wuthering Heights. I'm aware that like the title is in quotation marks, but I'm just not sure if I'm interested in this interpretation of Wuthering Heights. I don't know, we'll have to see. But I have been wanting to read the book for quite a while, so I am excited to finally do so. It's about 300 pages, 330 pages or so, so I'm thinking I can maybe do it this week. I mean, I read Jane Eyre in a week and it's much longer, so we'll see on this one too. But I'm intrigued to get into this one because I feel like this is a pretty divisive classic. I feel like some people that talk about it like, oh my god, it's like my favorite classic, and then some people just absolutely hate it. So curious to see what I think, but I'm excited because it's like one of like the classics, you know? Like there are a bunch of classics out there, but I feel like they're the like classics of the classics, and this feels like one of them. So cannot wait to read Wuthering Heights, jump into it, see what I'm thinking about it. I think I will hate everyone, but it could be kind of enjoyable. I don't know. And then the other book that I'm really hoping I can read this week is a return to one of my favorite series that I started reading last year, and that is, of course, Anne of Windy Willows by Ellen Montgomery. I've loved the first three books in the Anne series. I have not heard like quite as good things about the rest of the books in the series, but I still think I'm really gonna enjoy them. So this is the fourth book. And I believe in this one we are kind of following some correspondence between two characters in this series. I think Anne is kind of apart from a certain someone throughout this book, but also I just read like the first quote that is on top of the back of this book, and it's, I love them. I love them so much. So I cannot wait to read Anne of Windy Willows and hopefully read the rest of the Anne series this year. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to be back with Anne, regardless of how I feel about this book as a whole. So this is kind of, you know, like my hopeful TBR for the week, plus Paladin Strength, which I don't have a physical copy of. But I do have some other updates for you guys aside from the reading that I'm planning on doing, because I am hopefully gonna be doing a lot of knitting this week as well. I selected some audiobooks this week so I could listen to those while I work on my Norma sweater, and I thought I would give you guys a bit of an update because I've made quite a lot of progress. I'm much further than I was any of the last times that I've shown it to you. And I think it's looking really good and I'm so happy about it. So I want to give you guys an update, show you where we're starting, and we'll see how far I make it throughout the rest of the week. But this is, okay, this is actually a really bad way to show you how this is looking. But here's my Norma sweater so far. I have finished 2 colorwork stripes on it and I'm really, really loving my yarn combination. I finally got it right. It took me 3 times, but I finally got it right. So it's very scrunched up looking, but I feel like this gives you an idea of how it's looking, and I'm really happy with it. I love the browns. I love how they look together. It was a arduous process to get here, as you guys know, but we finally got there. So I will be working on my Norma sweater for sure this week. So I'll probably listen to my audiobook for Royal Assassin while I do that, and then physically I would like to start Anne of Windy Willows. Also, I know this is called something different in some places. I know it's called Anne of Windy Poplars. I can't remember where though. And then also later I'm thinking, because it's gonna be a really nice day today, it's like a high of 70 or something, which for early February I can't say I'm super excited about because I love cold weather. But it's also been very cold here recently, so I kind of would like to get out, go do something. I'm thinking I might go do a little bit of plant shopping later, but one of my plants is on its last legs. I don't think it's going well for that plant right now. Like, most of it's dead. I'm not gonna give up on it, but I'm gonna put it somewhere else. So I want to get another plant, probably another pothos, honestly. But I feel very confident in my ability to keep a pothos alive, so I'll probably get another one of those. Maybe like a couple of small ones. I don't know. We'll see. But I want to do some plant shopping, so I'll probably go and do that today as well. And just enjoy the sunshine because it's gonna be very nice. I might even wear shorts today. I mean, 70's a bit hot. Honestly, a little toasty. So those are kind of my plans. Reading, knitting, plant shopping. Honestly, sounds like a great way to start the week. It is currently Monday morning and I am ready to have, hopefully, a great week. So yeah, very excited about this vlog. I hope you guys are as well. And let's just get on into it. Monday morning now. I did not end up, honestly, just having the reading mood that I wanted to this week. But now that it is the weekend, now that I have 4 days where I don't have to go to class or do much of anything, honestly, it is time to get into some serious reading this weekend. However, I do have some reading updates. I actually have a lot of updates for you this morning. I have a lot of things that I would like to show you, so let's just get into that because I think this is gonna be a long one. So first of all, I did go plant shopping on Monday morning, I think it was, and obviously I need to give you guys a little bit of a plant haul. It's only one, but I wanted to show you anyway. So I ended up getting, very boring, I know, but I think this is what I said I was gonna get. I got another pothos because I really like pothos and they're also really hard to kill. One of my plants that I've had in my room, like the one that's usually on my bookshelf, if you have any idea which one I'm talking about, it's like a lighter green pothos. I've had since my freshman year of college. I got it when I was still living in the dorms. So it's been with me a while. So it's pretty resilient. That's not saying I'm good at taking care of plants, that's saying the plant is very resilient. And that's definitely the plant that I would be the most sad if I ended up killing it. But I think it's really hard to kill pothos, so hence another pothos plant. Also, I'm not gonna be keeping it in this pot because this pot is obviously too small for this plant. But I went to the thrift store actually on my way home and I picked up this really cute little basket. It was only like $4. The only problem is it doesn't have like a liner because it's not meant to be a plant basket. So I need to go get a little clear plastic liner. But there's my small plant haul, literally just a pothos. Honestly, I wish I could get like a more interesting plant. But when I tell you like every single plant is toxic to cats, I'm sure many of you know this, but like a ton of houseplants are very toxic to cats. And I have 3 morons that live with me in this house right now. And I don't trust any of them, so I try to keep plants that are like not as poisonous to cats. At some point, I'd really like to get a little terrarium. I think they maybe sell one at like IKEA. That could be like a good option. So I can get different and kind of more interesting plants that Daisy won't be able to get to. But I don't have any place for the terrarium right now either, so pothos plants high up on my bookshelves is kind of what we're working with. One of my goals this year in general is to kind of just get more into houseplant care and general plant care. And actually, thanks to the sponsor of today's video, who is Skillshare, I feel much more equipped to do so. So thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. If you guys don't know, Skillshare is an online learning platform with thousands of different classes available and so many different topics. And the best part is all of these classes are taught by industry professionals. It really is the best place to pick up a new craft or a new hobby. As you guys know, I love a craft, I love a hobby, I love a skill. So I'm so happy that I was able to work with Skillshare again because I really do love their platform so much. As I said, one skill that I would really like to improve this year outside of like my typical like crafting hobbies is I want to get more into plant care and gardening. As I said, I'm moving out in a couple of months and I'll have a little bit more outdoor space to work with. So I would really like to try maybe planting some flowers, maybe some herbs. So I thought it was kind of the perfect time to check out some classes on Skillshare that are related to that, and they definitely have so many. My favorite one that I've checked out so far is Gardening 101, a guide for growing and caring for plants by Geraldine Lavin. It's a comprehensive and beginner-friendly guide to all things gardening, and it really does seem like a great crash course. I feel like a lot of my gardening knowledge I have acquired from like random places online, just little tips and tidbits here and there. So having somebody that really knows their stuff and is putting all of it in this one class that you can sit down and watch is so much easier than looking at random stuff online. I decided to give the class project a go, which is to take some cuttings from an existing plant and propagate them. I have propagated my plants before to some success, but I kind of learned that I may be doing it not in the most efficient way. So I'm really excited to plant my little cuttings once the roots grow long enough, and there is a little section in the class also on how to plant a propagated cutting, so it's kind of perfect. But if plant care isn't really your thing, as I've said, they have so many different classes that you could possibly check out. So if you want to check out something maybe in creative writing, digital art, literally anything you could think of, they probably have a class for it. So if you do want to check them out, I do have a special offer from Skillshare for you guys. The first 500 people who click the link in the description or scan the QR code that is on the screen will receive a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. So thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring this video and supporting me and my channel. And thank you so much to you guys who are always here supporting me and my channel. I appreciate you all so much. So with that, let me get back into talking about more stuff that I need to update you all this morning. So another thing that has come into my possession since the last time that we talked to you is the next Hobonichi that I'm going to be using. I love seeing all of the cute new designs that Hobonichi comes out with every single year. And I've had my eye on this one. I've been waiting for their April start version to come out because those don't usually come out until like February. And now that it is February, I was finally able to get my hands on one and it is so cute. I've not taken it out of the plastic yet. I thought we could do that together. Some fun, you know, like plastic ASMR. Look at that. It is so cute. I am so obsessed with this. As soon as I saw this one, I was like, this is the one. This is the one that I'm going to be getting. I'm so excited. Look how cute this design is. I also really love the spine, how it says like 2026 on it. I just love the little flowers around it. And just the whole look of this is adorable. Here's like a full, you know, thing of it. That's a full thing. Yeah, the whole design. That's a better way to phrase it. And I'm so excited. Oh, look at the little sticker that it comes with. It's so cute. Oh my God. I forgot that it comes with like a little sticker. I don't think I've used the sticker that came with my last one yet. So I need to make sure I use this. Is it even a sticker? If it's not, I'm gonna stick it somewhere like a sticker. So it's adorable. I was so excited when I was finally able to order this. If you guys want to know, I bought this off of JetPens. They do free shipping to the US over like $35 or something. So that's where I've gotten my last two Hobonichis from. Also, I shouldn't have bought like more things while I was on the JetPens website, but they have such cute washi tape. So I did decide to pick up a couple more things with my order. I was like, why not? I mean, it's free shipping. First of all, I got these really cute like masking tape stickers. It's kind of like a roll of washi tape, but like they're individual stickers, if that makes sense. Here are all of the designs that are in it. As you can see, like it's very fall, very cute. So let me take it out so I can better show you. Hello, thank you. I think this is gonna be perfect for fall. I mean, obviously I can use some of these things other times of year, but like there's a little pumpkin in here somewhere that I'm very excited to use, and like this little pine cone is very cute. So I was really excited when I saw this. Oh, you can kind of see them a little bit better now that it's out of the package. These are little stickers that are there. And then this other one that I got is, let me try and open this a little bit better. I love it even more now that it's out of the packaging. It is just like bunnies with strawberries. I saw this, I was like, I need that. Obviously I need that. It's got like little gold foiling bits on it too. I don't know if you can see it super well, but I had to get that too because it was just so cute. So now that we spent like 10 minutes talking about not book things, let's talk about book things, because I do have a couple of reading updates despite the fact that I've not done like that much reading, but I have done some reading. So first of all, I finished up Royal Assassin. I did finish this up a couple of days ago. And what was the ending of this book? The ending of this book was crazy, honestly. It wasn't exactly what I was expecting from the book, but it kind of exceeded my expectations, honestly, because I really loved how kind of just high stakes the ending of this book was without there being like that much action actually to it. The whole time we were leading up to the end of the book, I was like, literally, how is this situation gonna get resolved before the end of the book? And then when it was, I was like, oh, okay, sure. But it was so interesting. I really ended up loving Royal Assassin overall. I definitely liked this much more than Assassin's Apprentice. I just feel like this period in Fitz's life was much more interesting, and all of the sneaky behind the scenes backstabbing stuff that people were doing throughout this book was really engaging. And Royal Assassin was great, and I need so badly to start Assassin's Quest ASAP. I don't know if I have that in the reading plans, but it might have to be in the reading plans soon. I don't think I'm gonna get to it this week because I have like 2 other books that I would also really like to finish this week, but like maybe next week I might start Assassin's Quest. I did borrow the audiobook like immediately from the library after I finished this. I was like, what do you mean that's the end of the book? I need more information, because I feel like the ending of Royal Assassin, it really just shakes things up in the most dramatic way possible. So I need to see what's going on in Assassin's Quest, because I truly have no predictions at this point. Really like the ending of Royal Assassin, and I just really like the book overall. It was so good, and I'm super excited to read some more of this series. Also, after I finish Assassin's Quest, I can get to the Live Ship Traders, which I've heard excellent things about. I feel like I've never seen somebody not like it. So I do have the first book in that series ready to go for whenever I finish Assassin's Quest, and I'm so excited. I know we're kind of I don't think we're following Fitz in that one. I think we're kind of diverging from what's been going on in the Farseer trilogy. So I'm just really intrigued, and I'm just so happy that I decided to give Assassin's Apprentice another shot, because I've been truly loving my time reading the Farseer trilogy so far. So yeah, good stuff with Royal Assassin. Literally, as soon as I finished the book, I was like, what just happened? In a good way. And I love it when a book kind of makes me feel that. So Royal Assassin was great. Really liked it. And then the other book that I've been making some progress in is Anne of Windy Willows by Ella Montgomery. Definitely a vibe switch. Definitely a different vibe we've got going on. But I have not finished this. I have made quite a bit of progress though. I'm on page 167. So I think I'm a little bit over halfway through it maybe. And while I really am not liking it as much as I was liking the first 3 books in the series, I'm still enjoying my time reading this. Honestly, I think any book with Anne in it, I'm going to enjoy. But I do feel like in this book specifically, there is a distinct lack of kind of some of my favorite parts of the series, the main one being beautiful nature writing. I just feel like this book is not really delivering in that aspect like the first three have. I feel like in the first three, it's like every other page, Elle Montgomery is just like going off with her pen, writing the most beautiful, seasonal, nature descriptions you could possibly want. And in this book, they're there every now and then, but it's not as abundant, and it makes me sad because like that is one of the reasons why I love the Anne series so much. And a main contributing factor to kind of the lack of that is the fact that half of this book is kind of written in letters, because we are following this period of time where Anne is away from a certain somebody and she is writing letters to him. And for some of the chapters, we are just reading excerpts from those letters, which I do like, and I think it's an interesting storytelling device. I like getting Anne's first person point of view, but we just don't get the nature descriptions like we do when it switches back to being in third person. So it's kind of like half the book we don't get it, half the book we do, and even when we do, it's just not as good as it is in the first three books, which like, again, makes me sad, but it's fine because I'm still liking the book a decent amount. I do think there are also some chapters in this book that just like, they just keep going on. Like we are focusing on kind of like side characters in Anne's life a lot, and I do like some of the stories that we're following and the way that Anne is helping them through this like situation, how she is lending a hand, offering advice. I really do enjoy that. But I do feel like some of the chapters go on a little bit long, and I'm like, okay, I like these people, but like I'm mainly here for Anne. It's not a huge deal, and it's not something that I'm super disliking. It's more so something that I just think is interesting to note, because the first three books were very much not like this. So I'm liking it not as much as the other three, but like I'm still having a really good time with it. In this book, just generally, we are following Anne as she has become the principal of the school, and she is definitely facing, you know, some tough times with the kids, some tough times with the parents. A bunch of people in this town that she's teaching in kind of just decided that they didn't like Anne because she took the job that they wanted one of their relatives to get. So they just made her life a living hell for like 6 months or something until Anne, in her own Anne way, made them love her, which is the same storyline that involves like all of the more antagonistic people in the Anne of Green Gables series. So that's kind of how Anne of Windy Willows is going. As I said, I'm enjoying it. I have some parts that I'm not loving as much as the first three, but like I really, really loved the first three books. So I wouldn't, you know, say I'm not liking this book. I'm still having a great time. So yeah, also again, I want to talk about like how beautiful the cover of this book is. This book is stunning. I love this line for the Anne of Green Gables series, specifically for the covers of the third and the fourth books, because they are beautiful. Honestly, I don't really like the covers past Anne of Windy Willows, so I'm thinking I might find different covers of the last 4 books in the series. But like whoever drew this, thank you. Like it's just the cherry blossom tree and sitting under it reading a letter. It's so perfect for the book, and it's just so beautiful. Like I just love beautiful covers, obviously. And I love this one so much. So it's kind of like the perfect February read, like very pink, very cute. However, today I think I would like to switch gears a little bit. It is currently Friday the 13th. Which I love a Friday the 13th. While I do prefer a Friday the 13th in the spookier times of year, a Friday the 13th in February kind of seems like it might be the perfect day to start Wuthering Heights. So I'm thinking I might get into this a little bit. I have been consuming so many YouTube videos about the movie Wuthering Heights. Just so many thoughts and opinions on how people feel about it compared to the book that like every time I watch it, I'm like, oh, I need to start the book. Like I want to have my own opinions about it. I still don't know if I'm gonna watch the movie. I feel like, especially now that it has come out, it's been out for like a day or something. I think like the first showings were yesterday or something. But I've just seen bad things. A couple of people in my Patreon Discord went to watch it last night, and like reading through their thoughts on it, I was like, oh no. It seems not great. I just like, there are a lot of conversations that could be had about that movie. A lot of which I'm not equipped to have at this point in time because I've not read the book. But I'm gonna start the book today. Hopefully gonna make some progress in it. I'm really intrigued. Because like, I feel like I've learned so much about just like Wuthering Heights in general that I did not know just from watching the videos. So that's kind of my plan for today, my reading plan. I'm obviously, you know, like gonna read some more of Anne of Windy Willows, but I think I'd really like to focus on Wuthering Heights. So I'm gonna get into it. I'm very intrigued to see what I think about it. And I will come back later, either today or tomorrow, with an update. So I will see you guys then. point out that we are being joined today by a special guest. Miss Winnie is sitting behind me so peacefully. She's probably not happy that I decided to come and film here, but I was planning to film here before she came and sat down, so what can you do? Anyway, I'm back with a couple of reading updates, one of them being a bit more substantial than the other. So let's just talk about it, because I've made some decisions with my reading plans for this video, just a little bit, because initially my plan was once I finished the audiobook for Royal Assassin, which I did, I would jump into reading the second half of Paladin's Grace. But then after I finished Royal Assassin, I was like, oh my god, I need to actually start Assassin's Quest right now. So I did. I'm currently this far into it, so as you can see, we're really making some good progress now. I'm on chapter 3, which is page 54, but I'm literally only 6% of the way through the audiobook for it. This book is such a break. It is so big. It's honestly really satisfying though, because it's a UK paperback, so it's like kind of small, kind of tiny, but she is mighty, let me tell you. So I have been really enjoying the beginning of Assassin's Quest, the end of Royal Assassin. It's just like, where are we going from here? And seeing Fitz's mental state at the beginning of this book, and seeing how he is kind of basically self-destructing through the first like 2 chapters of this book, has been really sad, but really interesting. Royal Assassin definitely introduced a new component to the series, to the magic systems, that is very interesting. So seeing the fallout of all of that and where Fitz is now with everything that happened has been really, really good so far. So I am certainly not going to finish this before the end of the video. I don't think I'll really be making much more progress in this book, maybe a little bit, because I do have some sprints that I'm doing today with my patrons, but they're crafty sprints. I've started doing like crafting specific sprints on my Patreon, and typically while I'm doing a craft, I like to listen to my audiobook. So I might listen to the audiobook of this later while I work on my sweater, which I'll give you a little sweater update here in a moment. So I'll probably read a little bit more of this, but like, it is so big. I don't know how, 840 or something pages. So I think this one's gonna take me a while, but that's okay, because I enjoy the slow pace of this series. I just enjoy following Fitz and all of kind of the periphery characters. So I just want to tell you that I started Assassin's Quest, because I could not start Assassin's Quest. So there's my small reading update. But I do have a more substantial update, because as I said, I was going to start Wuthering Heights on Friday the 13th. Honestly, it was kind of the perfect book for the day. And then yesterday was Valentine's Day, so it was like, again, kind of like the perfect book for the day, and like a much, well, actually kind of the same way, actually, if you really think about it. But I have started Wuthering Heights. I'm currently on page 140. And this book is something, let me tell you. Like, I knew that everybody in this book sucked, but like to actually experience it firsthand and hear some of the things that they're saying and experience the way that some of the characters act, I'm just like, oh my god. And it's been a very interesting read so far. So like the whole kind of premise of Wuthering Heights at, you know, up until the point that I'm at right now, is that we are following these 2 families who live like sort of close together on the moors, and one of the families ends up taking in this little boy that their father found while he was in London or Liverpool for the day or something. He was just like, well, I can't just like leave him there, so I took him back with me. Enter Heathcliff, who is a moody child, to say the least, and honestly, like, fair enough that he's a moody child. Nobody treats Heathcliff with like any kind of respect because he's not white, which is such an interesting element of this book, given that it was written in the mid-1800s. It's not what I was expecting from this book, but it adds such an interesting layer to Heathcliff's character, because he's like the worst, but he's been treated like he is the worst by people his entire life. So you're like, well, I mean, at this point, he's kind of just like a product of his environment. Not that it gives him a pass for some of the things that he does, but it makes him a much more nuanced character, and like more nuanced than I was expecting. You know what I mean? But he gets taken in by this family. Everybody hates him, but he ends up kind of developing this weird friendship, relationship, toxic dynamic with one of the daughters of the family that took him in, whose name is Catherine. I hate that I share a name with this woman, honestly. She is crazy. I feel like she's also a product of her environment, but in like a much less tragic way, because she's just a brat, honestly. She like hits people, pinches people, yells at them when they don't do like the smallest thing that she wants them to do. And I'm like, I cannot read from this woman anymore. Oh my god, she gets on my nerves. But like, everybody kind of gets on my nerves, honestly. But like, basically the whole structure is that we are being told this story by this woman that worked in the houses that we're focusing on in this story at one point in time or another. And there's this guy that has moved into one of these houses much, much later in the future. And he's like getting acquainted with the house staff, and he's like, you know, let's chat, tell me something, whatever. And she's like, oh, do I have something? Do I have a story to tell you? So her name is Nellie, and she starts telling this new tenant basically like the whole history, the whole sordid details of everything that has happened at Wuthering Heights and like the other place, the Grange, maybe it's called. And all I can say at this point in time is justice for Nellie, because she is a trooper. And I simply could not have done it. I would have been out of there so quickly. But overall, I would say I am entertained but horrified at the same time by this book, which certainly makes for an engaging read. Cannot say I have been bored during my reading of Wuthering Heights, that is for sure. I am almost at the halfway point, so I'm really interested to see what the second half of this book holds. I kind of just feel like it's gonna get so much worse. I also have been annotating this book, which has been very fun. It's been a minute, I feel, since I annotated anything, but at this point I only ever really annotate classics. I don't really annotate any other kind of books anymore, but it's been really interesting to kind of keep a lookout for a couple of things. So I have like a tab looking for the more gothic elements of the story. I really like Emily Bronte's word choice with the way that she describes the environment and the people and the feeling that people have when they're in Wuthering Heights. A lot of things are very like ghastly and dreadful and dreary and all that, and obviously I eat that up because I love anything gothic. I've also been on the lookout for kind of the more key themes in this book. So like the main one is just like everybody being a product of their environment. It's so clear to see, especially in the beginning of the book when you get to see Kathy's parents as well as the people that took Heathcliff in, that like they did not treat the people around them well, even their relatives, definitely not the staff. So that was kind of presented as like a normal and constant thing, and you can definitely see that like Kathy and Heathcliff and like other people as well kind of just like run with that and continue to do it. So it definitely focuses on like cycles of abuse and all of the different forms that that can take. There's also a lot of themes of like isolation, and there's a lot of interesting conversations about religion and how Kathy and Heathcliff kind of talk about it. There's also this character who is like really religious and like thinks everybody's a heathen, and he's always talking about it. So I think those conversations are also super interesting. I also do have a tab for Heathcliff and Kathy acting absolutely crazy. Because the way they talk about each other is so intense. And that dynamic has only gotten more complicated as the book has progressed and our characters have met certain people. But like they're not relenting. Like they hate everybody except each other, but like at the same time, I feel like they hate each other the most out of everybody somehow. They're just so intense and so dramatic all the time. I'm like, have you ever just like relaxed for like 3 seconds? Because I don't think they have. I have gotten to the obviously iconic quote, where did it go? Whatever our souls are made of, his and mine are the same. Like such a stunning quote. Like in a vacuum, love that quote. But in reference to Kathy and Heathcliff, hate it, because like it should be so romantic, but like in their context, it's so accurate, but like in the opposite way almost. Every time they talk to each other, it honestly just makes me laugh. But it's just such a fascinating dynamic that you can't help but be incredibly intrigued by. Wuthering Heights is going well so far, I would say. I'm not like absolutely loving it, but like I'm enjoying my time reading this, and I'm definitely gonna be reading some more today. I think I'm almost at volume 2. I think I'm like a couple chapters away from volume 2, so I feel like, you know, big things are gonna happen by the time we get to volume 2. I don't know what big things, but like some things. I feel like Wuthering Heights is one of the classics that like I don't know that much about in general. Like I knew that Kathy and Heathcliff were like toxic love, whatever. Yeah. Anything beyond that, I really don't know. So I don't know what the second half of this book holds, but I'm intrigued to find out. So there's Wuthering Heights. It's been an experience, let me tell you. As I said, today I would like to listen to my audiobook. I would also like to read some of Wuthering Heights, but I also am thinking I would like to work on my sweater a little bit, and I thought I would show you where I'm at with it now. Did I show you in the intro how it's looking? Maybe I did? Oh, now I don't remember. I feel like I did. But I have added on a couple more rows, and I think I'm just about to start my next colorwork section. I've just had to like hype myself up to start the next one, because when I start a colorwork section, I can't really stop, because at some point I have like 6 balls of yarn attached to my sweater at a given time. And stopping is a pain. Here's how it's looking. I think I have like 2 more rows until I can start the next colorwork section, which I would like to do today on my crafty sprints, which is gonna be fun. I think I'm getting kind of close to being able to split for sleeves on this. I think I'll probably be splitting for sleeves in the middle of the next colorwork section, or maybe like directly after. I don't know. I'm gonna have to like put it on, measure some things. We'll see. But that might be something I can do soon. I'm also excited to not have as big of a circumference that I am knitting on at any given time, because when you get a raglan going, you have like the entirety of the sleeves, front, back, and then like another whole sleeve that you're working on. So it's a lot. So like when I separate it and just work on the body or the sleeves, it'll be much more manageable. I'm also almost done with my first ball of merino and mohair, which is very fun. I feel like I've been making some good progress on this recently. I'm really, really loving how it's turning out. I love the colors, and I could not be more happy that I switched my color choices. So it was a process to get here, but I'm very happy with how it is looking. So there's how my Norma is going at this point in time. Hopefully I can make some progress on it today. And I think those are all the updates that I have for you. So I will see you guys in a couple days, perhaps when I have finished some books. I also still want to finish Anne of Windy Willows. It's sitting over there. I'm gonna get back to it, but I've really been wanting to focus on Wuthering Heights for like Friday the 13th and Valentine's Day, because it just seems like the perfect book to read on those days, especially when they're back to back. So it's been a nice weekend so far. It's currently Sunday morning, so I'm gonna do my sprints, I'm gonna do some knitting, I'm gonna do some reading. I will see you guys, as I said earlier, later. Alright, so I'm back with my final reading update. I also have a very fun final knitting update. I have made quite a bit of progress on my sweater, which I will share in a moment. But first I want to talk about the reading, obviously, because I did finish up Anne of Windy Willows yesterday. And while I liked this book for the most part, I do have quite a few issues with it, honestly. And the biggest issue, well actually really it's just the main issue of this book, is that we spend so much time going on these random like side quests with these different characters and how Anne like comes into their life and is assisting them in some way and like maybe making their lives better. And that was okay every now and then, but I feel like this book was just chocked full of all of these new people that you're meeting that you literally never see again. This book is broken up into 3 years because she is spending 3 years in this place being the principal of the school. And there are people that you meet in the first year where Anne like comes in and touches their lives in some way that you literally never see again. And that happens over and over and over and over. And at some point I was like, I don't like, why would I care about these people if I'm only gonna know them for like a chapter? I understand what the book is doing because Anne does have a profound impact on some of these people and bettering their lives, and like it's that the Anne touch, you know? And that's all well and good like a couple of times, but like we met so many new characters who we're never gonna see again. And like at some point, what is the point? I don't know. Also, since the last time that I talked to you, we met some really irritating characters, which were getting on my nerves, and we spent like multiple chapters sorting out their stuff, and I was like, oh, like, please make it stop. Like, Anne needs to walk away from the situation. She's not going to, but she needs to. However, there were a couple of people that she met that I definitely did really like their stories. I really liked this one where Anne met this little boy, and they ended up taking this photo of him and giving it to his father later, and I was like, wait, this is actually like so... It was so touching. I really, really enjoyed that one. And there is this kind of recurring character throughout the book who I also really love. There's this little girl who lives next door to Windy Willows, whose name is Elizabeth, and she doesn't exactly live with the nicest people, so her relationship with Anne throughout the book was so wholesome, and I loved that the ending of the book really took the time to kind of flesh out that little girl story and give it a really satisfying conclusion. So as I was getting towards the like middle to the end of the book, I was like, oh, I really don't know about this one. But I feel like that kind of brought it back in the end, and I was like, oh, actually, okay, I really did like that. But I have a lot of problems with this book overall. I kind of liked it. I don't know. I do find it very interesting. I didn't know this going into it, but this book was written after I think the rest of the books were written in the series. I think this one was written in the 1930s and the rest of them were written in like the 19-teens-ish. I would love to know why Ella Montgomery went back to write this book. I don't really see what the purpose of it is in the story, aside from it just documenting a very transitory period in Anne's life. I feel like we have honestly accomplished nothing in this book. I don't really think Anne went through much character development in this book, so I just think this one is interesting. There were some endearing characters. I did really like the widows and the housekeeper that Anne went to stay with while she was in Windy Willows, but for the most part, I just like really didn't love it. However, I am super excited to get into the next book in this series, which is Anne's House of Dreams, because I know exciting things are happening in that one, so I cannot wait to get into that one. This one, despite how beautiful the cover of this book is, obviously that doesn't mean like, obviously the cover of the book has no bearing on how good the book is going to be, but I wanted it to be good because the cover of the book is so beautiful. But it just wasn't a favorite of mine, which I kind of knew going into it that it wouldn't be, but like it really wasn't. But that's okay because I do still have one other reading update because I have made some more progress in Wuthering Heights. I'm currently on page 215. So I think I've read maybe like a little bit under 100 pages since I last talked to you, and some stuff has been happening in these pages, let me tell you. There's like something that I figured was gonna happen at some point in the book, but like the way that it happened was just, it was just stated so casually. It was like, oh yeah, like we woke up and this happened. I was like, okay. Our characters are continuing to be very questionable, honestly, and they're bringing the children into it now. Which, you know, very much in line with like the cycles of trauma and abuse that this book is going for. And I'm very interested to see how the rest of this book is gonna go, but like right now I'm just really sad for some characters, but I feel like they're probably just gonna end up taking the same path that their parents did. I'm like, would you look at that? Who would have thought? So it's honestly just, it's such a bleak, depressing book. It's very dreary. A gothic vibe was definitely the right move for this kind of story. Because not only is the setting bleak and sad and dreary, but like the story of these people's lives is so sad and bleak and dreary. So tonally, it knows what it's going for. That's for sure. But I have been maybe like a little bit less interested than I was in the beginning of this book. I think like the first couple of chapters I was like, oh my god, this is so good. Like I love the vibes. I love learning about the characters. It was so interesting. But I feel like the middle of the book has been a little bit slow, but I am interested to read the rest of it, which I'm not going to do in this vlog. But I do think I will include me reading the last bit of this in a little vlog that I'm going to film later this week. So definitely want to continue to share my thoughts. Hopefully that video will come out soon. There's that. Let's see. I think I've done like a little bit more reading of Assassin's Quest since I last talked to you. Where am I now? I have not moved my bookmark because I have been continuing to listen to the audiobook. I actually am kind of where I need to be. I'm right in the middle of chapter 6, so I'm on page 136. So this is how far I'm into it. But this I've been really enjoying. Fitz is definitely in some new environments. He's meeting a lot of new characters. But seeing Fitz embark on this journey all by himself for once without the influence of everybody at the keep has been very fascinating to read, honestly, because he's never been in a situation like this before. So I am continuing to really like Assassin's Quest as well. So those are kind of all of the books that I got to this week. I have only finished like one book in its entirety. I don't even know how much of Royal Assassin I read, but I feel like I've just read a lot out of like a bunch of different books, you know? Like not a lot of full book completing, but like reading has happened. So like I'm pretty happy with the reading that I did get up to this week. Obviously I didn't get to Paladin Strength, but I would still like to maybe try to finish that one up in February. The only problem is like I'm gonna listen to that one on audio, but like every time I'm like I should listen to an audiobook, I'm like I'm gonna listen to Assassin's Quest though. So we'll see if that happens. But like reading plans change all the time, so I don't know. But yes, these are all the books that I ended up reading from this week. Hopefully I will be able to give you guys my final thoughts on Wuthering Heights soon. But let me also give you guys a final update on my sweater because I need to share how it's going because it is going well. So I was finally able to separate for sleeves and look at her now. It's looking so good. I'm so happy with it. Honestly, I couldn't be more happy with like my first colorwork sweater. I just think it's looking so good. Like not to like toot my own horn, but like I do think it's looking good and I'm just so proud of myself for like being able to do this. But I finished 3 colorwork sections and I am ready to start another colorwork section after this. I have done all of the rows that I need to for this bottom stripe here, but I'm gonna give my wrists a little bit of a break for the time being. But I cannot wait to get back to this and work on it some more. And I obviously wanted to try it on and show you guys how it's looking right now. Here's how it is looking. I guess maybe I should. It's too long to even put in frame now. I can't believe I've made this much progress on it. But here is how it's looking right now. I love the color combo. I'm so happy. Even though it was such a pain in the ass, I'm so happy that I swapped out the brown. I think it looks much better than the other brown did. Maybe you can't tell a difference, but like I can tell a difference. So like, it's all good. I am a bit worried about how long it's gonna be once I finish the 5 stripes. I'm a bit concerned it might be a little bit too short, but like also too long to completely add another stripe. So we're gonna see how that goes. And I also think like maybe the sleeves are too big, but that'll be fine, right? I think it'll be fine. I can just throw some decreases in there and it'll be fine. But I'm super happy with my color combo and I'm also really happy with the fit so far because I was a little bit worried it would turn out too small, but I ended up doing like some random increases in places and it ended up working, so all is well. But yeah, I wanted to show you guys my sweater. Obviously, it's looking a little bit odd at this point in time. But you just wait until it gets sleeves, then it'll start looking normal again. This has been making me look at so many other colorwork patterns that I would like to try out. Honestly, I think the porcelain sweater is in my grasp. I must make it. I must make it. I don't know if I'm gonna make it like my next project because that might be a little bit insane, but I feel so much more confident in my ability to do color work that I would love to try to do the porcelain sweater like maybe later this year. But that's everything that I wanted to share with you guys at the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed the vlog. I hope you enjoyed spending the week with me doing some reading and some knitting and whatnot. I hope you guys are having a great Monday or whatever day it is that you're watching this video, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.